So we would request a specific date on our contract as part of the offer based on what we've been given from the seller about their ideal closing date. But it would be a Monday through Friday when all the buyers can be at the closing and sign off and get the keys. And again, this is a negotiable date, but we start with a date and allow the seller to respond if they have that date in mind or another date. Another item that we negotiate is the tax prorations. Now, I don't know if you know this, but in Illinois, we pay taxes a year behind. So when the tax bill, if let's say for Cook County, the tax bill is due March 1st, and most times it's August, sometimes September 1st, maybe even later, but it's twice a year. So the first bill is actually for due March 1st. It's for the first half of last year. So we just had a tax bill due March 1st. It was actually for January through July of 2023. When we go to closing, we settle up to the prorated tax day. Then when the next tax bill comes due, you as the new homeowner will pay the tax bill, but what is due is from last year. So you're given a prorated amount at the closing table for your lender or for you to pay the tax bill on time. But since taxes in Illinois always go up, we won't exactly know what the new tax bill will be. So we usually write in the contract that you are given 105% of the most recent ascertainable tax bill. And then if the taxes only go up 4%, been given a little extra cushion. If the taxes go up more than 5%, that's on you. So we try to figure it out as much as possible. And we also factor in whether it's a reassessment year. And so this exact calculation is determined by the attorneys during attorney review period. Most times for the contract, I will write in 105%, and then the attorneys can figure out the exact to the day amount. And then also on the contract, we initial off what kind of financing you're doing. There are three main areas. Number one would be all cash, as in dollars, wired to the title company. Number two would be whether there is cash with mortgage allowed. So, for example, you have a pre-approval letter that says that there's a cash guarantee, or you're willing to waive your financing contingency, or let's say that you don't need to have your contingency on the contract, but you do want the option to get a loan, or maybe you have cash but you would prefer to get a loan. Then you would mark the cash with mortgage allowed. And then what most buyers use is the financing contingency. So we would initial off on that. That's the third option. And then if we use that, we would put down what type of financing, whether it's conventional, FHA, or something else. Then what percentage you're putting down, we're disclosing to the seller. And if it's a 30-year loan, and what is a cap of your interest rate. So right now, the interest rates are around 6.97. We would put a cap at 7.5 so that there's a little bit of cushion. And then you say, why do we need to have a cushion? So if the interest rates jumped up for some reason up to 8%, and you are not able to qualify for a loan at 8%, that would be an out for you in the contract, and the seller doesn't like that. So we put a little cap. So assuming that the rates within the period of time between the contract and when you lock in your interest rate, that it's going to stay below that cap so that you can lock your rate and still get approved for the mortgage. Because keep in mind, seller is going on faith that you are able to get that loan. The earnest money is protected up until you get your clear to close, which can sometimes be a week before closing. So the seller doesn't want to wait until 30 days go down the line to find out that you don't qualify for the loan. So it's important that we have a very tight pre-approval letter and that you're able to close on time. Some other things in the negotiation process, standard is 5 business days to get your home inspection and your attorney review. The attorney will go over the contract and make some modifications. It's also, Illinois is an attorney state, so every party, whether it's the buyer or the seller, they have their own attorney. On the buy side, it's approximately $550 to $700. It's a flat fee that you pay as part of your closing costs at closing. What we do then, we have you sign off on the contract. The earnest money is in in this area, the North Shore, Northwest area, the most earnest money we usually see is up to 5% of the purchase price. Technically, we write it in two different ways. We could do $1,000 upon acceptance, and then after the attorney review period, you could increase that, and this is a negotiable item. Attorneys and sellers like to see more earnest money. Buyers would prefer to put less money that's tied up in an escrow account. So that's a negotiable item. It depends on the market time, the market, how many offers there are. So we look at that as part of the whole offer package. So then we have you sign off on the contract. We can either sign in person on my iPad, an initial off, and I can send it over to the listing agent. Or sometimes we use a real signature, which comes electronically, where you can each sign and then it merges, just like a DocuSign or a .loop program. And once I have a signed document, I send it to the listing agent. I write a nice cover letter about you, and I include our proof of funds letter. And listing agents like my offer package because I give them a highlight of what is in the offer. I've called ahead to make sure that they know the offer is coming. I've also followed up to make sure they got the offer and it's not just sitting in spam. And I make friends with the listing agents so that they want to work with me. I also have a very good reputation with other agents in the area, and they know that I say what I say I'm going to do, and it's a smooth process working with me and my team. I have a transaction coordinator that helps us with the details from contract to close. And you will meet Randy at some point once you have an accepted contract. So that brings us to the details. Once we have an accepted contract, we have to negotiate back and forth. Once we've wrapped up all the details, I will have you initial on the changes, and then the seller will execute the contract. Then we turn the paperwork over to our transaction coordinator. I refer to Randy on my team. He helps us he's sitting at a desk while I'm out in the field connecting with clients and helping you through the home inspection process. He is keeping track of all the details. So there are a lot of balls in the air. Once it gets into the attorney review period, there are lots of emails from the lender, from the attorney, from the seller's side. We also have information from the inspector. So we will help you catalog all of this information and get everybody the documents that they need for compliance and also to get your loan in process. So as part of the contract process, so we send the information to the attorney, we send the information to the lender, we schedule the home inspection, and I will be with you at the inspection. We also do radon testing. That is a separate inspection that we do during those 5 business days. I will explain about radon gas and what different inspection items that you would be what are available for you to plan and schedule. Then during those 5 business days, we have our inspections, and then by the end of day 5, that is when the attorney on the buy side needs to send a letter to the seller's attorney saying that either you're in complete agreement and you're going ahead and buying the house, or sorry, this just isn't what I was expecting, or something in between where we need to negotiate. So everything is done in writing at this stage through the attorneys. The agents can speak freely back and forth, but it's unofficial until it's written in writing from the attorney's modification letter. Then we proceed. If you are getting a loan, most times they need to do an appraisal. An appraisal will be set up with the listing agent, and it takes about a week to get the results. You'll get a copy of the appraisal from your lender. Whenever there's information that the lender asks for, you want to get it back into their court as soon as possible. And a quick loan would be about 30 days. The average is about 45 days it takes to get a loan from the time of the contract to the closing table. So then some of the other details, if there's an HOA, homeowners association, we would get decks and bylaws for you to review. You'll likely have to do some sort of an interview and some paperwork to the association. We're keeping track of all the documents and corresponding with the attorney, corresponding with the lender. Once the appraisal is done and you would be shopping for your homeowner's insurance, that is usually a condition for getting your loan. I can introduce you to providers for getting your homeowner's insurance, and we'll also want to schedule a mover. Maybe you are needing some more visits to the house. If we're doing some measurements, we have to negotiate that as part of the attorney review. Usually only one is a standard that we could go back in. Otherwise, the next time we would be at the house is your final walkthrough. So speaking of the final walkthrough, once the closing has been set, it's set by the seller's attorney, and it's usually at a title company. So once we know the date and time exactly, we do a final walkthrough. If it's an early morning closing, then we'd probably go the night before. Otherwise, we do the walkthrough. I will join you. It's after the seller has moved out. So the walkthrough should be the same condition that the property was when we last saw it at the inspection. So we're looking to see if there was any damage from the movers when they moved out. Did the sellers leave everything that they had expected us to have? Did they clean out their crap and not leave you with a basement full of junk? Boy, have I seen some interesting things at a walkthrough.